We're now delighted to be joined over the telephone by our guest for the afternoon, Dr. Ahmed Allaithy Nasef, the economic advisor. Dr. Ahmed, it's a very good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, doctor, for your time. Let me start by asking you, sir, how do you see the positive outlook of the Egyptian economy as stated by the credit rating agencies?
Well, as everybody's seeing it, it's a very positive step in right direction. It's a confirmation of the direction that the government is taking in the management of the Egyptian economy. So this is what Moody's ratings are about. Basically, this independent rating agency comes and says, you guys are doing well. One of the things that many people would have not noticed, that today or yesterday, actually the U.S., which is the largest economy in the world, has been degraded as well.
Right.
So this sort of rating tells you, are you doing what is right for your economy, yes or no? Basically, the largest, they think that the largest economy in the world is not doing the right thing. And despite that Egypt is a much smaller economy of course than the U.S., they think that we are doing the right thing for a change.
Right.
We have been suffering from 3 reductions consecutively, if I'm not mistaken, or 4, and that's a turnaround. So basically that's saying a very simple message that we have moved from a declining rating, i.e. doing what is not right, to doing what is right. And that's a very positive thing.
Absolutely. Dr. Ahmed, let me ask you, what are some of the most important measures that you have seen being taken by the Egyptian government in order to improve the Egyptian economy and reach such decisions by international financial ratings agencies?
Basically, we have a plan in a summary. Previously, before, for example, Fattah Sisi comes into power and he manages the country, we were very casual about managing the economy. What helped us at the time is that there was a sort of support that today does not exist and cannot exist. So now we are forced to do what is right for the long term of the economy. Sometimes these movements do hurt a little bit, but it's like an operation, it's like a surgery. All surgeries do hurt, and even if they do hurt, they are the cure. Before we were using just aspirins and tranquilizers to solve things which were not solving anything. So now we've just started to focus on problems and resolve the problems.
Now, Doctor, the World Bank has said it does expect a decrease in the inflation rate. What is the impact of such an expectation specifically on the local markets?
Inflation, the reduction in inflation will basically, without going into lots of equations and scientific explanations, will simply mean that people will have a better easing way of managing their daily life.
Right.
The problems will be much less, and they will stop seeing this accelerating increase in price. So things will be better or easier to manage.
Indeed.
In a layman's terms.
And as for reports from Standard & Poor's, they say they expect an increase in the economic growth rate in Egypt. What are some of the features of such an increase, in your opinion, Doctor?
Basically, the economic increase, or the economic growth, increase in the rate of the economic growth, again, it has different ways and different reasons for what it is. But what is most important is to understand the context or the big picture that Egypt is operating in.
Mm-hmm.
We are operating in a very, very difficult geopolitical conditions or context.
Yes.
And normally in such difficulty, when we lose, I don't want to say lose, but when we suffer from a significant reduction in one of four key sources of foreign currency, which is the Suez Canal, because of a war that we have nothing to do with. And I suspect, I don't have the numbers, but I suspect also that tourism would have suffered as well. And these are two of the most important sources for foreign currency in the Egyptian economy. So the fact that we continue to grow, despite that very difficult context, is a very, very positive sign, if you want.
Indeed.
And if we can grow in such a difficult context, means that we're going to continue to grow when things get better, even at higher.
Absolutely. Now, Doctor, with expectations of a decrease in the debt to GDP ratio, this is an indicator of a recovery of economic conditions in the country. Is this correct?
Yes. I mean, it's very simple. That is bad. You reduce what is bad, things get better. As simple as this. And what we're doing is, there are two ways. It's a ratio, because you divide two numbers one by the second. So either you reduce this one, the bad, which is the debt, or you increase the growth. And whichever way it is, you have to either increase the GDP or reduce the debt. And as long as you're doing it through this or that way, you are on the positive side of things. You are going in the right direction. And of course, the opposite is very true as well.
Indeed. And finally, Doctor, how do you see, the Egyptian state's support for the private sector contributing to some of the improvement in the economic conditions, despite, as you said, the challenges and the geopolitical challenges facing the region?
I think there's a lot of positive things happening. And again, we are on the right direction. We have a lot of spinning off of many of the businesses that needs to be reduced or that the government needs to exit. And this is very, very positive. So we are definitely on the right direction. We need to do a little bit more, maybe. But that's okay. Again, we're going in the right direction. And that's what matters the most.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Dr. Ahmed Allaithy, Nasef, the Economic Advisor. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you with us this afternoon.